Hmm. Hmm. Los Angeles. At Hollywoodland21. Please subscribe to my channel. At Hollywoodland21. One word. Thank you very much. I'm deep in thought today. Things are getting very real for me. Very real indeed. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing to me. At Hollywoodland21. Trying to. Yes, I've been to Massachusetts. No, you have not seen me on television. I'm a salesman. Yes, Mr. Art, you can draw something of me. Thank you, Kelly Nunez. Thank you, Lisa Kerr, Gerald. Thank you. Thank you all. Little Mistakes. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Save it for a rainy day. I know it's backwards. I do not know how to unmirror myself on YouTube. I know how to do it on TikTok, but I do not know how to do that on. I do not know how to unmirror the video on YouTube. I have not learned how to do that. Does anyone know how to do it? Yes, I am relocating. Yes, I've mentioned it before. Some of you might not know that I'm relocating, but I am. There's reasons why. Long-term cost of living. I'm moving to the western part of the Midwest, pretty much almost in the Great Plains. Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. I haven't made up my mind yet. They're right next to each other. It's exactly what I'm looking for, too. St. Louis has a little bit. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be Kansas City. Actually, what I really need to do, being that this channel is, some of you already know this, but my channel is not monetized yet. That's a decision I made. When I get to about 5,000 subscribers, I broke the 2,000 mark yesterday. I have over 2,000 subscribers at Hollywoodland. At Hollywoodland21. At Hollywoodland21. It's free to subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is type in at Hollywoodland21 and hit the subscribe button. That's what I really need more than anything else. We need to get me up to 10,000 subscribers by September the 1st. I may be coming on more often and during the day too, when I can. I mean, Monday through Thursday, those particular 4 days I'm very busy during the day and I'm doing other things, and I really can't live stream then. Not really, maybe for 20 minutes on the lunch break or something like that, but on the weekends and all Friday I can. I could, if I wanted to, I could live stream all Friday, all Saturday, and all Sunday. I could get like something for my battery here, and I could live stream for, I don't know, 9 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. I could just continuously live stream if I wanted to. I have to get some type of a power pack. I'm going to go looking around for a power pack on Amazon. Get one of those. You guys have any ideas? Okay. I've been clean and sober for 19 years, so you're gone. There's only 3 rules on my live stream that I have, and well, 4. at Hollywoodland21. My channel name is Hollywoodland22, but this is at Hollywoodland21. That's my handle, and I need you to hit the subscribe button. Thank you. This is not a monetized channel. YouTube is not paying me any money right now for this. I just need subscribers, a lot of people to subscribe to my channel and get me up to 10,000 subscribers. That's what I need. I got 8,000 more to go. I got 7,900 people left to subscribe to me. And we need to get that done by September the 1st. So tell all your friends and your family, Facebook friends, Instagram, Roblox. I don't care if it's even OnlyFans. I don't care. Kick. Twitter, what's called X now, YouTube, and TikTok, to come type in at Hollywoodland21 and subscribe to my channel. When this channel gets to about, we get about 5,000 subscribers, I think this channel is going to start moving along a lot faster, incrementally faster, at an even faster clip than I'm gaining subscribers now. I'm gaining subscribers at a very fast clip right now. I've been told by YouTubers that, by live streamers that have been live streaming for a long time, that it took them a long time to get to 2,000 subscribers. It took them 2 years or 3 years to get that many subscribers. Some people 4 and 5 years to get to that many subscribers. I achieved that in 7 months. And I'm doing this. I'm doing this Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for about an hour to an hour and a half. So that's about 6 hours a week. And I'm having people subscribe to my channel at that fast of a rate or clip. So I've been doing pretty well. I'm a little tired, a little bit tired. Okay, you're gone. I don't do that stuff. Hello, Julie Newman. Julie Newman, are you going to tell all your friends on Star Maker all about at Hollywoodland21? That's at Hollywoodland21. Thank you, Sharon Thompson. I really appreciate it. We talk about a lot of things on this channel. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. You see, it's really your channel. It is. And you can tell me all about your problems, your successes. You tell me all about your childhood trauma. You tell me all about how you don't like Donald Trump or you do like Donald Trump. Or you can talk about Obama, Michelle. You talk about Joe Biden's wife, whether or not you think she's a cool chick. You can talk about whatever you want, really. I don't like to talk about the problems going on in Iran, in the Middle East that much. It's on your cable television, satellite television, direct TV, what's the other one, Dish TV. You can watch that stuff. We all know what's going on. It's sad. Didn't have to go this way. You know, human beings just, they have big egos. And they're just keep on going. We have these wars going on and civilians get hurt and killed. And it's sad, isn't it? War is a horrible thing. I got a lot of things going on in the house right now, so I'm trying to hang in there. A lot of stressful things going on. I have a person that is one of my ex-girlfriends from, check this out, an ex-girlfriend from 19 years ago. This is I got sober, okay? And I found out that she has a friend or an acquaintance that discovered that I was live streaming. And that friend told my ex-girlfriend from 19 years ago. And that's why I always say I feel like I'm being watched. And I don't want anything to do with that person. That was 19 years ago. And that person and I have been broken up for 19 years. And I thought that she went on with her life. And she's not a person I want anywhere near me or in my life. Not interested. Does anybody here ever have like an ex-boyfriend or a ex-girlfriend from like 10, 15, 20 years ago that you do not ever want to see again? Anyone here? I'm sure there's somebody that understands what I'm talking about. What got me to stop taking drugs? I just got tired of them. I was I was around 36 years old, and I was in a motel in Los Angeles, on La Cienega Boulevard near Pico, called the Park La Cienega Motel, a cockroach motel. And I decided that I did not want to use coke, weed, or alcohol anymore. I wanted to live. I was getting tired of it. I used to work hard and play hard. It's not like I didn't support my habit or anything like that. I did not do any crime or anything like that, but I supported my habit. But then again, I was a salesman. I was making good money and stuff like that. And I just decided I did not want that in my life anymore. So I stopped. I went to a 21-day rehabilitation facility in Inglewood, California, which is a suburb of Los Angeles near the LAX International Airport. Went there for 21 days. I stayed in a sober living house for 6 months, and then I went out and lived by myself again. I stayed in one of those sober living houses because I thought it would be a good idea for me to be around a group of other men that were and women. It was a co-ed house, and that were doing the same thing I was doing, trying to stay away from people that used, illicit drugs and things like that. It was a smart move for me. Made a lot of good friends. I started going to AA meetings, Narcotics Anonymous meetings also, Cocaine Anonymous meetings, and I met a lot of people. And a lot of people helped me. A lot of people in the television production business, because I went to some meetings that were in the San Fernando Valley, and in North Hollywood and Valley Village, in Studio City, also over in Hollywood, the Hollywood district proper. And a lot of the people that put together the television programs that you watch, that work behind the scenes, everything from people that build stages and fake rain machines and stuntmen and actors and actresses and makeup people and all these people, they were all trying to stay sober too. And I got to meet a lot of them. And a lot of those people helped me. They loved me until I could love myself. And they really, really helped me that first year and a half, a lot. I continued to go to meetings for about 3 years after that. Then I branched out. I started going to different meetings with different people, but from different backgrounds. Not just people it was probably just the area I was living in. I was living in an area of the country. Well, I was living in Los Angeles, California, but I was living in the part of Los Angeles where that's a big employer in that area. Hollywood, Burbank, Glendale, Studio City neighborhood in LA, Sherman Oaks and around there. And there's a lot of people that work in the manufacturing of television programs and films. And I did not know that there were that many people that worked in the industry that had alcohol problems. But I discovered that, but they really helped me out a lot. That's why it's really strange why I see people telling me that Hollywood is an evil place. I don't understand that, because I got nothing but love from those people. That was a long time ago. I've been off of that stuff for about 19 years now. On August the 8th, I'll have 19 years of sobriety. And a lot of those people in that work in the entertainment industry, all different facets of it, including people that are even one director I met a director, a pretty famous director. I'm not going to drop any names or anything like that, but he helped me out too. You know, he helped me learn how to stay sober every single day, like on a daily basis. And I had a few people that were just, I don't know, some construction workers and some salesmen and some other people that were helping me too. So it's not what you think out there in Hollywood. I didn't work in that business. I'm a salesman. I sold vinyl siding and aluminum siding. That's what I did for a living, and I sold tools. And also, I managed a women's shoe store one time. That was fun. I did work as a waiter, and I worked in the hotel business for a little while. When I was a younger guy, back in when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. Did that kind of work. I worked at a nightclub once as a doorman. That was fun. Let's see what people are saying here. Wayne at Wayne -OU 5PS. I lived in Hollywood. Where did you live in Hollywood? Anywhere near Yucca and Whitley? I want to know, Wayne, where did you live in the Hollywood district? Did you live near Yucca and Whitley, near the cashier check cashing place? Did you live near Cahuenga? Did you live near Wilcox? Did you live near Selma? Did you live out near the Sunset Strip in West Hollywood? Where did you live, Wayne? Okay, you're gone. I got to get this person. This person is saying something. I got to go by the rules of my channel. And that person's going to be put in timeout. Here's the deal. I'm looking for Wayne. I want to find out where Wayne lived. Maybe I knew him. I don't know. It's a small area. I lived in Central Hollywood for many years. Wayne -OU 5PS. Where are you, Wayne? Might be here. No, John Holmes was pretty big. Dude, I think he had 19 inches or something. I don't know. It was something enormous. I don't think it was that big. It was something like 14 or 15 inches. It was a deformity, actually. Yeah, a lot of people say I look like Kurt Russell. Yeah. I did move to the San Fernando Valley out of Hollywood because it was closer to where I made my bread. Okay. Tight Pinch, Woodman and Hazeltine. Do you know me from around there? I used to live right next to the Van Nuys Airport. Okay, on Louise. Okay, you know where Louise and Van Owen is? There's a high-rise building, and it's not far away from that, the Jewish Federation building called SOVA, where they help out people that need clothing and food. It's like a food bank and a clothing bank that's operated by the Jewish Federation. It's called SOVA, SOVA. It's right around the corner from, I believe, is that Louise? I think it's Louise and Van Owen. So you know where Woodman and Hazeltine is. Woodman and Hazeltine. Now, that's on the other side. Woodman and Hazeltine is from over there at Tight Pinch. You're over there next to where the liquor store is. And Dr. Gabby, the dentist, and everything's down the street, and they had that social services, that Lutheran social services there, and they have that El Salvadorian restaurant not too far from you on Woodman and Hazeltine. I know where Woodman and Hazeltine is. You're almost in what's called Valley Glen at Tight Pinch. I know where that is. I lived on the other side. I lived way close to the near the Denny's and the Denny's and the Food for Less over near the Van Nuys Airport. But I know where you're talking about at Tight Pinch. You lived in an old mansion next to Hollywood High School. Are there any mansions near Hollywood High School? I guess. Well, that's the back side of the El Capitan. Orange Street is there. That's a drug street. Orange Street, you probably know that. I really lived there. You know I lived there. I know the whole Hollywood. Woodman and Hazeltine. I know exactly where that is. Actually, not a bad area. You were 18 back then. You lived on the streets. You know what they have at Hollywood High School now? Some of the students on the back side, say on the north side of the building, you know, there's some apartments back there, but on the north side of Hollywood High School, there's on the side of the wall, they have they painted big, huge murals of like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz and other different famous people that the students over the years have painted murals on the back of the wall. And they have a mural of John Ritter there. Remember the guy Jack Tripper, the character from Three's Company? John Ritter, who was Tex Ritter's son, who unfortunately passed away in the early. John Ritter passed away in I think either 2002 or 3 or 4. I can't remember. A lot of people got very depressed for about a month after he died. He was well liked, and his mural is painted on the north side, on the wall, north side wall of Hollywood High School. I did not know that he was the valedictorian of Hollywood High School when he went to school there, and that he had originally gone to USC and he wanted to be a lawyer before he changed his mind and wanted to be an actor like his dad. Isn't that something else? I just know a little bit of things from just talking to people throughout my life, you know, out in the Hollywood area. No, I'm not. You might, if you saw me in Hollywood. I lived there for a while. I worked in a few different restaurants up and down Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset when I was really young. I also worked in the nightclub business, nightclubs that do not exist anymore that used to be in Hollywood. Never got a chance to work in Florentine Gardens. Always wanted to. I moved up to the San Fernando Valley and I got a job selling vinyl siding and aluminum siding to people that lived in Glendora and Chino Hills and Whittier and stuff. Like when the rain comes in from the Pacific Ocean, you know that those people that live up on the hillsides, they need vinyl siding. And I sold a lot of that stuff. I did cold calls, straight commission. And it was interesting. You might have seen me around Ventura Boulevard or Riverside Drive, or I don't know. You might have saw me on a subway train or something like that. I lived around there. There was a time when I lived in South Robertson. I actually lived south of Beverly Hills on Airdrum and Holt in a neighborhood called South Robertson. Yeah, I lived around there. Bro, stay up, man. Internet sure is ugly. Acid Rain says 3533. And as far as past people, knock off that rear view mirror. Eyes forward. Thank you. That's good. That's good advice. With the glasses, Doppelganger. Who am I? Who's my doppelganger? Kurt Russell? I don't think so. Yeah, I never actually lived in Sherman Oaks or Studio City, but I went to the 12-step recovery meetings there. Let's see, where have I lived? I've lived, besides Philadelphia, where I'm from, and 5 years of my childhood in Lubbock, Texas, and the Panhandle of Texas. I've also lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, with my father. I lived in Hollywoodland. That's why my channel is called Hollywoodland. When I was like 19, I lived in a guest house behind a mansion all the way up Beechwood Canyon, up there maybe about a quarter mile down the hill from the Hollywood sign, maybe a third of a mile. I lived there for about 10 months. I lived in Central Hollywood. I lived in North Hollywood. I have lived in the Pico Robertson neighborhood of Los Angeles. I have also lived in West Van Nuys, and I've lived in Chatsworth. Those are the places I've lived in the city of Los Angeles or around. $8,000 to $10,000. I don't know about that. The dinosaurs and the. I'm gonna have to figure. I'd have to talk to a pastor about all that stuff. Yeah, I've been in Sherman Oaks. I know where the park is there. They got a wonderful park where they have like baseball games and soccer games and stuff like that. You know. Hello, Adticula1 is a moderator of mine. Thank you very much for coming in. What else do we have here? Frank Gallagher, alive and well. Kelly Nunes, thanks for coming in. Lindley and Roscoe. At Tight Pinch. Lindley and Roscoe. I've been around there. You know what's really good that's on Roscoe? Near Balboa and Roscoe. I think they closed the restaurant down. They might be out of business. Remember Indio's Mexicano Comida? Mexican food. It was called Indio's. It was real close to behind Turner's Liquors on Roscoe and Balboa. Indio's made the best burritos. They were so big and so filling that you couldn't even finish it. Yeah, I was around the San Fernando Valley for a long time. I lived out in LA for 31 years, 3 years in Bellevue, Washington, in the late 90s, and then I came back to Hollywood, and then bounced back up into the San Fernando Valley. I was there for a long time. I moved. I left in August of 2023. Yeah, Tex Ritter's son. Yeah. The Singing Cowboy. People think I'm an actor, but I'm not. He's a salesman. I could have been an actor. Yeah, it was pretty funny, stupid, wasn't it? Have you been to Oklahoma? Yes, I have been to Oklahoma City. I've been to Tulsa. I've been to Miami, Oklahoma. I've been to Lawton, Oklahoma. I've been to little towns outside of Dalhart, Texas, in the panhandle of Oklahoma. I've been to Pueblo, Colorado. I've been a lot of places. I used to live in Lubbock, Texas when I was a child for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And then I moved back to the East Coast and lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Yes, I do know Reseda and Encino very well. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Lindley. Where in Lindley? Roscoe and Lindley. Roscoe and Lindley. Okay, Roscoe and Lindley. Okay. I did have a lady friend that lived close to, I'm not going to tell you her name for her privacy purposes, but I had a really nice girlfriend that I more than likely shouldn't have never left. I was very foolish for leaving her because she was a really beautiful woman. She was a very nice lady. And she lived at Lindley, because Lindley is the dividing line between Tarzana and Encino. She lives at Killian and Lindley, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And she was a wonderful person. A lot of people liked her. Yeah, I know Encino. I know Newcastle Street. I know the magazine stand down the street. First time in 39 years back in California. It's so much different. I know. When I left in 2023, I did not recognize parts of Van Nuys had really changed. Van Nuys, North Hollywood. Really, mostly the interior of the San Fernando Valley. Van Nuys, North Hollywood, Reseda, Northridge. A lot of those places had not changed for the good. There's some issues out there. I had a friend that used to work at Bubba Gump Shrimp in Universal Studios. You know, the little city walk thing there. It's close to it. It's close to Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Laurel Canyon Boulevard comes out of the canyon and it goes north. And it continues on. It goes through Valley Village, which is really a neighborhood of North Hollywood called Valley Village. It's in the southwest corner of North Hollywood in the San Fernando Valley, and it's close to the high school, North Hollywood High School, and it's also close to the police station there. One day I'll pull out my pictures. Yeah. Yeah, I was a pretty boy. All through my 20s. Yeah. I got called pretty boy and all that stuff. I didn't take too well to it. Papa's and Beer on White Oak had good Mexican food. Why do I remember that place? Tight pinch. Well, the Northridge Hospital, you might have seen me. I used to see a doctor that was in the building like right next to it near Etiwanda Street. There's like a bunch of doctors in that building that's like just east of the hospital on Etiwanda Street. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of doctors over there. I have been in Northridge Hospital. There used to be another Northridge Hospital over on Van Nuys Boulevard, and like Van Nuys and Sherman Way. You remember that. And they closed it down. It turned into an apartment complex or a condominium complex. I'm not sure. It was refurbished and turned into something else. But there used to be two Northridge hospitals. 19, Little Miss Jacks, 428. 19 years sober on August the 8th coming up. Ralph's on Ventura in Encino is where I shopped. Okay, I shopped not too long ago, back in 2023. That was my go-to store at Ralph's on Ventura in Encino, not too far from where the 99-cent only store down the street used to be. And there's a Target there too. The mural of the Karate Kid movie is down the street from there. Yeah, I shopped at that Ralph's. Yeah, so you know that I lived in the San Fernando Valley for a long time. And that's, for people that don't know, that's the northern part of the city of Los Angeles. That's where a lot of the middle income people live. You know, the people that pay most of the taxes. Yeah, 99 at Tight Pinch, 99-cent store by the newsstand. And the newsstand, it's a Bevmo now. It's a Bevmo store. You know what Bevmo is, right? They changed it. No, that's a Bevmo, but the 99-cent store was there. Not that 99, but they changed the location of the 99-cent store. It wasn't too far away, walking distance from the 7-Eleven that was close to where the Ralph's is, but on the opposite side of the street, on the north side of the street. But now there's no more 99-cent only store. They closed down. It's a defunct company now. And I miss that place. It was a really good 99-cent store by the newsstand. It used to be there. It's a Bevmo now. And then they changed the location of it. But there's a little newsstand on the corner there. I believe that is on Newcastle with all those apartments, including the apartment complex that way back in like the early 2000s. Remember, there was a gas leak on Newcastle on one of those apartment complexes, and it actually blew up and they had to evacuate the apartment complex. Do you remember that? You might have. No, not. I never went to any gyms or anything like that. I used to walk a lot out there. I had weights in my apartment. I would lift weights in my apartment. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, give me three, maybe just 2, maybe 3 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay. Don't touch that dial. I've had just about enough of these two. They'll stop that monkeying around. I'm going to have to call the authorities. Well, looks like I'm back. I think this hair is too dark. I'm going to go lighter next time. I do not have gray hair all over. It was just on the sides. A little. I don't even think it's there. Hair, so I don't even think anything's there, right? Look at all that hair. I have very, very good hair. Look. My hair is very healthy. Wake up. Smell the coffee. Thank you for coming in and spending time with me. If you want to subscribe, I'd like you to subscribe to my channel. I really need you to. I have a goal. I have 2,000, a little bit over 2,000 subscribers to at Hollywoodland21. That's at Hollywoodland21. Once again, that's at Hollywoodland21. And my goal is by September the 1st of this year, 2026, to obtain 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to tell you something, just between you and me. I believe that my channel is going to get really big. It's going to get over 100K, 100,000 subscribers plus. It's going to be a very big channel one day. And what I need from you right now at this channel, which is non-monetized, that means I am not making any money off of this channel at all. Did you know that? No, I'm not. This is just for fun right now. It's really your channel. You can talk about whatever you want. My name is Randall, R-A-N-D-A-L-L, Randall. And I currently live in North Carolina. I've been here for 3 years, almost 3 years now. And I'm a former resident of Los Angeles, California, where I lived there for about 31 or 32 years. I can't remember. I am going to get myself some more soda. We're going to take a little walk over here. I'll pour a little bit more soda for myself. Hey, let's try this kind. How about Food Lion Diet Cola? Looks like it might work. What do you think? Cup. Drink. I have some things on my mind. Yes, if it looks like I have something on my mind, it's in the back of my head, it's because it's there. Yes, I do. There's something going on in my household. I have a lot of responsibilities where I live with other people, and I'm very busy during the week. And also, I have made some friends on TikTok and YouTube that also live stream. My circle of friends that live stream are very small. It's about maybe 5, 6 people. These are people I watch on a regular basis. And, you know, it's odd when you start watching people for a while, 9 months or longer, you start watching them, you get to know them and everything. You get to know a little, maybe sometimes a lot of their life, and sometimes you get to know a live streamer's life, like just a sliver of it. You watch their old videos and you find out where they're coming from and stuff like that. When you get to talking to somebody as a live streamer after a while, you start developing concern for them. I mean, this, you got to understand, to me, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's just an opinion. If you get to know somebody who's a live streamer, or you go up on panels with people and you talk to them for like a year or so like that, you can develop a friendship on here. There's only a 3-second delay. And if they're in trouble, if they're, if there's something going on in their life that's not cool or something, you get concerned about them. It's only human to be that way. Unless you're some type of a sociopath or a narcissist and you don't care about other people. There are people like that in the world. I am not one of those people. I'm a very based person. I'm a very real person. I can be a live wire. I do have bipolar disorder, bipolar 1 disorder, aka manic depressive illness. But I do have the capacity to love another human being. And I have empathy. And when somebody is hurting, whether or not it's around friends, my family, friends around here, or if it's a person that I've created a friendship with on YouTube or TikTok, my empathy is very real. And I try to help people out all I can, with my time, with my advice. If they want just someone to talk to, if they want to give me their telephone number and the direct messages, and they want me to talk to them, I'm much more than willing to talk with them. All they have to do is give me their telephone number and the direct messages, and I will talk with them, and I'll listen. And that's just the kind of person I am, I just like that. I'm not any different than I was in 1988. I'm the same person. A little bit more mature. A little bit. Just a little bit. Here we go. Let's see what people are saying. I don't eat as much. I don't think I eat even maybe about 1,000 calories a day. I drink a lot of liquids. No, this is not a wig. Would I like to be your therapist? I could be. Some people don't know any better. That's right. At Mood Honey 2419. Ray Riddle, hi, welcome in. Ray Riddle 9462. Welcome back in. I really do have bipolar disorder. Yeah, it's pretty bad too. You wouldn't notice it because I'm taking medications for the symptoms. Well, case and the point at Jaqueen, stop, please. Well, either he's ignoring us or don't need our subs. So, okay. No, I don't want you here. You're slandering me. Get out of here. Bye. Find another friend. Who am I fighting with? I'm not fighting with anyone. A lot of people do not miss California. I do miss California. I miss a California that does not exist right now. It could repair itself. A lot of places in California never really changed in the last 10 years. But in the last 10 or 12 years, Los Angeles definitely did change, large areas of it. Pasadena's pretty much the same. Glendale's nice. Burbank's pretty nice, but the city of Los Angeles itself has really changed. It can be fixed, though. It can be fixed. It'll take about maybe 3 or 4 years. It could be fixed up. But there's problems all over the United States. There's some type of problem with our society. There's multiple problems wrong with American society right now. It's very different than it was when I was a small child in the 1970s, or a child in the 80s, or a young adult in the 1990s, or when I got to be middle-aged. When did I become middle-aged? It'd be like 2000, or somewhere, I don't know. What are they called? The 2010s or something? Like late 2010s? And then the coronavirus debacle hit, and then there just seems to be a lot of people that don't really care about much anymore. It's a certain age group. Why do I think I'm so observant and interested about things like this? Because I would like my nieces and nephews and my younger cousins to be able to live in a United States that I was really blessed to be able to live in. It was a much different kind of a beautiful United States. It wasn't perfect, but I lived in a good time. I really did, and I want the younger people in my family, some cousins, nieces and nephews, and my son, who's working and paying taxes, and his family too, to live in a United States that is a happier place, that is more cohesive, and it's not all fragmented. A lot of the United States is fragmented. There's a lot of political polarization. There is a lot of polarization between women and men of certain age groups, like especially under the age of 45. It's not in all areas, but there seems to be a group of people that like to talk on, especially on social media. They talk about, I think it's odd because we never talked about this as young people, but there's a lot of younger people that talk about, and some people even in their 30s, they're talking ad nauseum about ethnicity, race, religion, politics, ad nauseum. And that's all they ever talk about. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're 25 years old. Why aren't you working like 3 jobs or something and socking money in the bank? And why aren't you saving up all your money so you can go out with your friends on a Friday or Saturday night on a quest for hot chicks, dudes? What are you sitting around with a beard on your face, crappy clothes, and like holes in your jeans talking about politics for? But, dude, what the fuck? Go get laid, man. I mean, there's a time and a place to talk about politics or religion. I think it's kind of odd to talk about ethnicity or race ad nauseum. I mean, who is a person? A person is who they are inside. They're not what color their skin is. I mean, come on. It's kind of shallow, isn't it? You're who you are inside your heart. So I don't know what all this talk is about, that subject matter. And talking about other things like a sexual orientation, that's another thing that I hear constantly for the last 10 years is people talking about, what they like to do in the bedroom and whether or not they're a guy that likes guys or girls that likes girls or a girl that likes guys or whatever they do, or they want to talk about they're a guy, but they like to dress up like a woman and they want to identify as being a woman. So that's all fine and dandy. I don't care what you want to do. I mean, whatever floats your boat, man. It's just that, is that all you ever talk about? I just find that kind of odd. I think that's going away. I think it's kind of odd. You want some tacos? Me too. Why do so many younger people talk about that stuff so much? Does anyone know? Don't worry about being bipolar. You're doing well, man. Person is a mask. Okay. You're 71 years old. Well, I'm glad you got to 71 years old. You beat me. I'm praying I live to be 71 years old one day. I got a ways to go. But my dad made it to 83 years old. His dad made it to 86 years old. I have a grandmother that made it to 94 and a half years old. Actually, longevity runs in the family. No, right now, Tiffany Smith, I have enough moderators. But thank you very much. I'll keep you in mind. Definitely, definitely. Robert Fisk, 976. Good combo. We're the same age group. 70s, 80s were great. Were great. Where did the time go? Well, we were busy working and raising families, and or not raising families, or being a single guy like me and never getting married, but working, doing whatever we're doing, man. Our learning lessons, snorting up Bolivia, and then going to rehab and learning that's stupid and not doing it anymore, and stopping smoking and trying to change. I had some issues. I worked hard, but I played hard, but I had to stop all that. So I was about 36 years old. I stopped all that yin yang. Yeah, I don't want to have a heart attack at the age of 45. You know what I'm saying? Robert Fisk, at Robert Fisk 976. I stopped partying, dude. It's not worth it. If you need some help, if you need some help me tomorrow, I will get a guy or girl, whatever you are. Okay. A lot of things, I just don't understand why young people want to talk about such shallow subjects. I mean, it's not a shallow subject. Well, first of all, ethnicity, race, um, gender, sexual orientation, those are things that are subjects, but they're not subjects that I've ever heard talking about ad nauseum, like continuously, incessantly, until maybe about 10 or 12 years ago. And I thought it was odd that so many young people are talking about that. Politics and religion, I can see a young person maybe talking about that somewhat, but not constantly, to the point where that's all. For a while there on TikTok, and not YouTube so much, but on TikTok for about 5 years, that's all I saw on TikTok. I was like, then I'm thinking about the age of the people, the general age of the people that are talking about those subjects, are in their 20s and early 30s. And I'm thinking, especially the men, and the men that are talking about it, I'm like, why are you talking about this on social media so much? Shouldn't you be working a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs and coordinating with your male friends on how you're going to have a designated driver, and everyone else is going to go have a drink, and you're going to go out to the nightclub, and you're going to go on a quest for hot chicks, the ones that you take to the Motel 6 or the La Quinta Inn or something. Isn't that your goal in life when you're like in your early 20s or something? Why would you sit around and drink lattes and talk about politics and gender and sexual orientation all day long? And why would you waste your time on TikTok doing that when you need to be going and getting laid, right? I don't get it, dude. Isn't it weird? Remember what we used to do? Generation Z fold is crazy too, really. Tiffany Smith, I'm sure. It's not just Generation Z. It's some of the younger millennials are like that. The doorbell sound you keep hearing, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out myself. Kurt Russell, go home. No one asked you. Okay. You're gonna be a smart ass. You can go goodbye. Have I been to VIPs in Tarzana on Ventura Boulevard? I know. I don't believe I have. No wisdom. I agree. Is some of that talk, like that incessant talk about the subjects I stated, is a lot of that going away with the younger people? Are the younger people thinking about just not thinking about politics so much? Are they going back to working their little jobs and thinking about going out to the nightclub and hanging out with the opposite sex and doing like stuff we used to do? Are they doing that now? Is it going back that way? Sort of, kind of like it was in the 90s. I don't know. I don't know. What are you people saying? I know most of you people are at least middle-aged or boomers or something like that. Are things going back that way? I mean, I could tell you about Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina is a very left-wing. It's a very socially liberal, politically left-wing city. It didn't used to be, but it is. It's more so than LA is. Younger people weren't allowed to be feral like Generation X. Really? I was very feral. I remember that song. I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying, Deborah? Well, is the culture changing back to, and it's not just political, is the culture changing back to being, what we would consider as Generation X or boomers to be more normal? Even my generation, Generation X, was more like baby boomers than generation that I would like to admit, but it is. I agree. We didn't talk about Reagan or wondering if Bush Sr. would be a great president. We were living in Boulder, Colorado, thinking about college chicks 24 hours a day. I know that's what I was thinking about. I was like, we used to rate them like on a scale of like 1 to 10. And that with 10 being the best looking woman you ever seen in your life, 10s did not exist. 10s to me are a myth. Bo Derek, was she a 10? Actually, yes, she was a 10. That's the only 10 I've ever seen. And she was in a movie on the front cover of a magazine. I personally have never seen a 10 other than her. And that says a lot because I lived in Hollywood. Wait a minute. Maybe one other woman that I noticed was a 10 because I lived in the Hollywood area where all these younger people, they come to try to get on television and movies and stuff like that. And I saw some unbelievably handsome guys and very good looking women, but most of them are like, they come out to Hollywood, they think they're this and that. They're really just like an average looking person, or they're a 7-up. But I have seen some very good looking women that came out to Hollywood to try to get on television. Some of them did, some of them did not. They have to be able to follow directions. But I've seen some women that are 8.5s, like 8.5s, 9s. A few 9.5s over a course of, we're talking like over like 31 years of living in Hollywood. And I think I've only seen maybe 3 women that I would say are a 9 or a 9.5 of facial features, of physical attractiveness in their face. Like I've only seen maybe 3, maybe 4 9s in 31 years. Because a 9 in looks is like 1 every 100,000 people. You just don't see them. And if you do see them, they're either crazy or some guy's already hooked up with them. Some guy already married them. They're gone. They're not even available. Most women who are 8s and 8.5s, they're married and have kids by the time they're 25. Some guy just immediately noticed that girl is very hot. And he based his entire, he dated her and he told her whatever she wanted to hear. And he doesn't even care if she bitches. I know how guys are. Guys will let girls who are that good looking, they'll let them rant, bitch, and everything like that because they're that good looking. They just want them around. If they're going to marry them, they're going to put a ring on their finger and pray to Jesus that they don't divorce them and take half their shit, right? Bloody forever. I did things like that when I was young. Yes. I did stuff like that and delivered newspapers and sold newspaper subscriptions and mowed lawns and knocked on people's doors when I was 10 years old. I was like 10 years old, right? In Philadelphia, knocking on people's doors saying, excuse me, can I take out your trash for 25 cents? We used to do stuff like that because I need money in my pocket. I don't know about you, but when I was 10 years old, I needed money, man. They didn't have more than 25 cents to spend. I'd take little, like old ladies, I'd take their trash out for them. They thought I was cute, right? You married your 49 years ago, Ray Riddle. 9462. That is amazing that you found a 10. Nothing. I've never been an actor. Have any of you guys, okay, women, you can answer this question too. Good thing I'm gay. You don't have to deal with this. Look, it's the fun. You guys are funny. What are you guys, a bunch of baby boomers in here? You know, you're my parents' age, right? Actually, my parents were Korean War vet, were older. My parents were older than baby boomers. They were born like in the early 40s. They were older when they had, you know. Hey, Pierce Brosnan. Your news, sir. What is my thing? Whatever you want to talk about. You can talk about whatever you want here. The only things I don't want on my channel that you'll get blocked for is chatting anything that is no anti-Semitism. No anti-Semitic remarks are allowed on my channel, or you're blocked forever. What else? No racial bigotry chat, or you're gone forever and you're blocked. Or no talking nasty about women or children, or you're blocked forever. And also no character assassination with myself, especially, or anyone else in the chat. Just be kind. Rewind. Ford Sally, 7398. Whoa. Oh, I'm supposed to be Potsy now? Are you acting? No. Okay, can't take a joke. I am Generation Z. So what's going on with Generation Z? I would like to know what all of the, okay, here's the deal. Millennials are between 30 and 45. Generation X is 46 to 61, and over 61 is a baby boomer. That's the way it works. I read all about it. I don't really believe that. Well, yeah. All you people that are Generation Z, like 30 and under, is your generation more socially liberal, or are you turning or is it starting to lean and become more traditional and old-fashioned? I do not know. I see a little bit of the younger people becoming more old-fashioned-ish and less socially liberal. I would probably be more socially liberal than most of what I'm seeing coming out of the colleges now, as opposed to 10 years ago. But maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to hear more about Generation Z. I really need to, at Can't Take a Joke, you tell me what's happening in your area. Are you a socially liberal person? Are you more conservative? Gina Reed, 1854, hi, looking good. Thank you. You're just a white dude, laugh out loud, chill. Your look, gorgeous head. You're a baby boomer. Okay, so that's 60. That's 62 or older at this point. I look Hollywood. I know I do. What about homophobes? Homophobes. Oh, you mean people that are afraid of gay people? I'm not a homophobe. I'm not afraid of gay people. I worked, when I was a real young guy, like 18, 19, 20, I worked a part-time job, and I worked a few jobs, right? I sold shoes and stuff like that, but I also worked as a waiter and a bartender at restaurants in West Hollywood, which is a gay area, okay? And I was the only straight waiter of all of the waiters in the restaurants that I worked in. And none of the gay guys were disrespectful to me. They were not like, hey, trying to get with me and stuff. They weren't like that. They were cool with me. They knew I was straight. They knew that I am what I eat, which makes me a pussy. Okay. And they understood that. And they were very nice to me. I made a lot of money in there. A lot of gay couples would come in and stuff like that. And I would be their waiter, and they would give me a lot of tips. And that lasted for about 9 months. That was fun. I don't care. Whatever somebody wants to do in their personal life. If a person wants to be gay, be gay. If you want to be straight, be straight. You know, hey, if some dude wants to dress up like a woman and claim that he's a woman and identify as a woman, and he wants to walk down the street and tell the whole world about it, Have at it, dude. Or lady or whatever. Whatever. It's your life, man. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want to, just as long as you're not hurting anybody, right? I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. I mean, would you? Boomer, check. Boomer, check. I'm not a boomer. Rules are important. Yes, they are. You like this conversation already? I really don't care what people do in the privacy of their bedroom or what they can be whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody. I think people make a big deal out of nothing. Your dad was alive during World War II. My father was born in 1942, and my mother was born in 1945. So my mother's on the cusp of being a baby boomer. My mother's 81 years old, and she runs around like this. She's so like, she's on the phone. She'd be talking and everything like that. God, she's got a lot of energy. I'm not a boomer. I wasn't born as I'm a Generation X. Oh, thank you. Thank you, at Dawn Pitch, 4826. Thank you for the, compliment. I do like that. Appreciate that. Thank you. At High Tide 843. My younger siblings are Generation Z. That means they're 30 or younger, or under 30. And they're definitely becoming more socially conservative. I see that. I do see that. I don't get to see it a lot because there's not a lot of young people in the suburbs of Charlotte where I live. It's mostly people with gray hair where I live. There's just a bunch of retired people from up north that live down here. Maybe in the city of Charlotte, there's younger people. But I see, even on social media, I'm seeing that people that are like in their early 20s and stuff, they kind of seem like they're becoming more socially conservative. I think that might have something to do with the money problem in this country. A lot of younger people don't have any money. And maybe I should hook up with some chick and we should both share the rent or something, or maybe get married or something. Maybe I should just do things the old fashioned way and just get married and have a roommate and be able to have a roof over my head. I mean, look how many homeless people there are. Look how many guys and women are under the age of 30 that are living with their parents and paying their parents rent money and helping out with the food and trying to sock some money away because an apartment is just so expensive. If you live on the East Coast or really anywhere on the Eastern Seaboard, from Maine all the way down to Miami or anywhere in California, and you try to pay rent, my God. I mean, it's still cheap to live in Missouri or Kansas or Texas or something, but on the East Coast and the West Coast, the rents are so high. I can't even imagine a person under the age of 25 being able to rent out a one-bedroom apartment all by themselves. It's like that. Even in California, in a working class neighborhood, not like a bad neighborhood, but just the neighborhood right above the bad neighborhood, like lower middle income. Okay. A one-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys, California is $1,600, and Van Nuys is kind of a neighborhood. It's not bad, but it's not great. But $1,600 to come up with every month—that's a lot for one person that's under the age of 25 or even under the age of 30. That's a lot of money that you'll never see again. It's very expensive to live in D.C., Philly, New Jersey, New York, anywhere in New England, anywhere in Florida has gotten very expensive now. I mean, I could afford to live in Florida. I just don't want to live there because I don't want to live around bugs. But when I was a young person, and I went to school in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So I grew up in the Philadelphia area. You know what all high school students used to say about Florida? We say that Florida is where old people go to die. I don't know about you, but I'm moving to Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, you can go out. You can go right out in the suburbs of Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. You go to the suburbs out there, or a little town outside of the suburbs, and you can find a small house with a big yard for about $150,000. Now that's the kind of prices I'm I'm really liking. I'm trying to get something that's under 200, about $225,000 or less. That's what we're looking for, so that we can have a monthly payment. Who wants to? I'm leasing now. Um, I might lease by the month. When I go out to Kansas City, Missouri area, I think I might lease by the month, or maybe sign a 6-month lease, something like that, while we're looking for something to get into permanently, you know. So I think I'm going to do a direct sales. I've been in direct sales all my life. Yeah, I agree. Tell you, I'm not part of that beautiful generation. Which one? Which one? Generation X or the baby boomers? Generation X was not everybody around my age that I get along with. We're not all one big cohesive group. Never use that term. It's sexually offensive. What is sexually offensive? Scott Emidon, I do not know what you think is sexually offensive. What are you offended about? I should do acting. What, do you want me to go back to Hollywood and be an actor? That would be interesting. I don't know if I would. I don't even know if I would want to end up becoming an actor and being successful and having people know what I look like everywhere. I don't even know if that's what I would want in my life. I don't think so. I want to, Anita, man, just go half on the rent. Yeah, you've been homeless most of your life, Scott Emidon. You don't have to be homeless. I want to tell you something. Where do you live? Where are you? Please don't tell me you're in California. It's too expensive to live there for everybody. Scott Emidon. Been homeless most of your life? The future looks very bleak for 20 and 30-year-olds. I disagree, because they're so young, they got the whole rest of their life ahead of them. If you don't have a lot of money, let me make a suggestion. If you don't have a lot of money, first of all, I would not recommend living in the South unless you're from the South. Don't go to the South, the southern states. That doesn't include Texas. Texas is kind of sort of not a southern state. I would not recommend going to the South. There's a lot of reasons why. It's not a lot of economic opportunity in a lot of areas, and it's probably not going to be for you. I would recommend that if you do not have a lot of money and you're a young person and you want to rent your own apartment, get away from the Northeast around New Jersey, New York, Philly, DC area, Boston, where it's real expensive. Get away from the West Coast out in California and move to the Midwest or the Great Plains. Texas has affordable living, affordable apartments still, and affordable homes, especially in a lot of parts of Texas too, especially West Texas. I would recommend Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas. I would recommend Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, and upstate New York. You can, in the areas that I just told you, including New Mexico and Nevada. The areas I just told you have affordable apartments, and Wyoming does too. They have affordable, very affordable apartments compared to what you make the average salary in that area compared to how much of an apartment costs. The earnings to how much it costs to live ratio is better in those areas. And I would recommend that you try those areas and put a winter jacket on, because it's probably going to be 4 months of winter. If you try to go down to Florida, or you try to go down up to New York, or you try to go out to LA, you're going to have roommates for years. Yeah, stay away from the South. I live in North Carolina, which is kind of like the South in some areas, and it's kind of like the North. North Carolina is getting expensive for, well, to say it'd be expensive. I think it's overpriced. That's why I'm leaving. But I think it's not really worth it. I don't think Charlotte's all that great. Raleigh's a better area. Um, Asheville is overpriced. Charlotte's overpriced. There's a lot of crime here. I guess there's a few places. Richmond is not that expensive. Raleigh's kind of a nice place. But if you really do not, say if you're a young person and you do not come from money, you don't have any parents or grandparents like helping you or anything financially, and you're on your own, I would go to the Midwest. Okay. I'd go to the Midwest. Or if you want to go out farther west, I would go to Nevada, New Mexico, Wyoming, parts of southern Colorado. That's it. Maybe eastern or the Great Plains. Any of those rectangular states up through the middle, from eastern Montana and the Dakotas all the way down to Oklahoma and into Texas, into West Texas. West Texas has affordable living. I know my country. And yes, Michigan is affordable if you are, well, Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids are wonderful places. I've been to both of them. New Bedford, Massachusetts. You know, it used to be a time in Massachusetts when Springfield was affordable and the suburbs outside of Hartford were affordable, but I'm not so sure about that anymore as far as rents or cost of homes. There's suburbs outside of Detroit that are very affordable. Depends on whatever floats your boat. But if you go to the parts of the South that are nice, like the Florida Panhandle or something like that, the rents are high. You don't want to live in those states unless you're born and raised there. You know the territory. You don't want to go to those states. Texas is a really good state to live in. I would recommend Texas to just about anybody, especially to a young person, especially the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or out in Midland, out in West Texas, Midland, or the area in between Austin and San Antonio is really good place to live. I will be back in just a second. Why Texas? Texas has affordable living, and they pay the average salary for the average job compared to how much it costs for rent and owning a house. It's a good ratio. Like when you work at an average salary, about 35% of your earnings go to the roof over your head, and the rest of it is discretionary income. That's why Texas works. The only place in Texas that is particularly expensive is Austin and Round Rock. The rest of Texas is very affordable, especially West Texas. wonder who's coming in now. Let's see what I can do with my hair. See what it looks like now. God, that's a lot of hair, isn't it? Maybe it's time for a haircut. What do you think? You tell me. What do you think? Is it time for me to get a haircut? You tell me. Oh, it's just fine? Okay, did ringer. Looks perfect. He reminds me of a movie, Roadhouse. No, I never have. Do you want me to move? I lived in LA for like 31 years. Do you want me to go back to Los Angeles and go live in like the Hollywood area and go to open auditions and try to be a movie star? Do you want me to do that? Let me do that. There's other ways to make a living. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you folks. My name is Randall, and the name of my channel is it's Hollywoodland, at Hollywoodland21, at Hollywoodland21. That's at Hollywoodland21. Once again, that's at Hollywoodland21. I need you to hit the subscribe button. We need to get me to 10,000 subscribers by September the 1st of 2026 coming up. That is about 5.5 weeks from now. Right now, I have a little bit over 2,000 subscribers, which means I need 18,600 subscribers. No, I need 7,600 subscribers more. I need you to tell all your friends to come to at Hollywoodland21 and hit the subscribe button. It is absolutely free for you to subscribe to at Hollywoodland21. I don't charge. And this is not a monetized channel yet. Not until I get to 5,000 subscribers. Then I will monetize it because I don't really need the money. This is just for fun. I'm just having fun talking to you people. But why not? When I get to 5,000 subscribers, then I might as well make a couple $100 a week or whatever. Maybe 100, something like that. Just some chump change for my time. I'm here at Hollywoodland21. A live stream Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever. Let's see what time it is right now. Oh, it is. It's 8:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time. It's also Charlotte, North Carolina time. Have you ever left the States? Yes, I've been to Canada. I've been to Vancouver, Canada. I've also been to Ciudad Juarez. I've been to Reynosa. I've been to Tijuana. I've been to Ensenada, Rosarita Beach. I've been down to Mexico. I've been to Mexico maybe 20 to 25 times in my life. Yes. You got Florida wrong. It is God's waiting room. Yeah, I live there, so I can say it. It's God's waiting room. The Southerner. That's a nicer way to put it. Wow, we have 50 people in here. How's the heat out there? And it's actually a cool down here. It was hot. I live in the Piedmont. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and Charlotte, North Carolina, are at a higher elevation than Columbia and Charleston, South Carolina, and Wilmington. We're right before the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains on the dry side of the mountains. So it doesn't rain here, but it rains about maybe 42 inches a year, average annual precipitation. It's very similar to the climate of Northern California, like near Clear Lake or Ukiah, or near Chico or Oroville, north of Sacramento. It's a very similar climate here. It's not quite Mediterranean, but it's about the same temperature range. It doesn't get that humid here. We might get humid spells, but in August, but it doesn't last for long. Chapel Hill. I like Chapel Hill. I like Chapel Hill and Cary a lot. I do like Asheville. I like Asheville very much. Yes, I've been there once. There you go. Like that. I have something on my mind. Yes, I do. What do you think I have on my mind? You know, I wonder who's watching me. I do. I'm curious. Yeah, I had to do what's called kind of sorting through things, throwing away paperwork I don't need when you're relocating somewhere. It's just, I don't really know. Kind of throwing some things out, getting ready to relocate. It's coming soon. It's not going to be very long. I really am going to Kansas City, Missouri. Mm-hmm. We're going to do that thing called Pods. It's a company called Pods, where they put yourself in a big giant box, put all your stuff in a big giant container out in the parking lot, and they take it and they put it in a storage facility out there in Missouri, and then we pick it up later. Yeah, we're going to do that. Hello, sir. Can I ask you a question? Yes, Ms. Naldo 1. You can ask me a question. Are they expensive pods? Sandusky, Ohio. My lady friend has a lot of relatives that live in Sandusky, Ohio, that worked in Cedar Point. Yeah, Pods or Rat Pack. Rat Pack is another company. Yes, Pods is expensive. Really? I have to look into it. Moved from Pennsylvania to California with $1,200. I moved from Philadelphia when I was 18 years old at the Greyhound bus station on 10th and Filbert, and I went out there with $2,000 in my bank account, $200 in my shoe, and a Greyhound bus ticket, and a $20 bill in my wallet, and a friend, a roommate. I went out on a Greyhound bus and arrived in downtown LA, and I did not like it, so I went to the Hollywood station, and I stayed there, and I got myself a place. I remember that was back in 1989. Yeah, we moved from Oklahoma to Florida. Okay, Clayton Bearden. Some people really like Florida. I used to live in Lubbock for the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade. I lived in Lubbock, Texas. I'm from Philadelphia, but my mother got a job in Texas Tech University, and we moved out there. I lived there for 5 years, and then I moved back in with my father in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. And I lived there until I graduated from high school. Really, Wayne? Lubbock is a weird place. Well, it was a fun place. I remember when it only had a couple 100,000 people in it. I heard that the Lubbock metropolitan area has about 350,000 people in it now. No, I am not a homosexual. I am what I eat that makes me a pussy. Oh, were you there in '89 when that earthquake hit? I was in the Northridge earthquake. I was in Hollywood when that 6.8 hit up in the San Fernando Valley. Man, that was the first real earthquake I ever been in my life. That scared the crap out of me. But we did clean it up and we made some money. Some friends of mine and I went down to a union hall down in San Pedro, California, and we got hired out of a union hall there, and they had us working 14 hours a day for like 6-7 months. Your dad said, cut your hair and get a job. You're funny. Isn't it colder in the fall? Winter there in Virginia is cold. Yeah, well, I don't think Virginia's cold. I don't think New Jersey's cold. I don't think New York is cold. Now, Boston can get cold in the winter, but it's cold when you go west of the Appalachian Mountains. When you get into Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, all the way out to Nebraska and Kansas and stuff like that, it gets colder out there in the winter. It starts warming up when you get down to maybe Lubbock, or like you get down to like Dallas Fort Worth. They get like light snow and stuff like this. It's a mild winter. But when you get up to like Kansas and stuff, you get real winters up there. In Missouri, you get real winters up there, and it's longer. The East Coast, because the Atlantic Ocean, being close to the Atlantic Ocean, kind of stabilizes the temperatures, so it doesn't get too cold. You get about, I'd say Philadelphia gets about what I would consider a real winter, about 3 months, from about Thanksgiving to about, well, the middle of November until about, I don't know, third week in March. Would that be? Maybe about 3.5 months of what I would consider cold weather, but not really cold weather. Real cold weather is like when it gets like below 20 and stuff. When it's like you walk out and you're in Pittsburgh or you're in Columbus, Ohio, or Cleveland, Ohio, and you walk out to smoke a cigarette like outside in the morning, and it's 8 degrees outside in January. That's cold. Or if it's like 15 degrees or 20 degrees. Yeah, but I know how to live in cold weather. It doesn't really bother me. I prefer to have 4 months of winter and then 8 months of something else. It doesn't bother me that much. I lived in Los Angeles with Mediterranean climate for 31 years. I had perfect weather for 31 years. Just I got tired of it. Yeah, I lived up in Bellevue, Washington. I remember the earthquake they had out there in Carnation or Duval, like out in that area back in like 1996 or 7? They had an earthquake out in Duval and Carnation. I remember that. They got volcanoes around there, dude. Yeah, some people just like to hate. That's how they are. My dad at Gen 2287, my dad told me to cut my hair and get a job after the earthquake. I bet he did. What do you value more, my display picture or the fact that you have the ability to walk? The fact that I have the ability to walk. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's a fact. Your display picture. You guys see this? Yeah, I'm very happy that I can walk. How often does Texas get light fish rain from the tornadoes? I don't know. I've heard of fish coming down from the sky. Tight pinch. I wasn't there, but I felt in Santa Barbara. You drove to Sherman Oaks, and I couldn't believe it. I know a lot of apartments were messed up, and that Kaiser Permanente building parking lot was all screwed up too. I couldn't believe it. The whole building's on Woodman totaled, and my little old building I lived in was the only surviving building. I remember a lot of people helped each other in the earthquake. Neighbors were helping each other. I don't know about it nowadays. Yeah, I grew up in Philly. I know Philly. I think Philly has a great fall, a great spring, a great summer, and I don't think the winters are really that cold in Philadelphia. Not really. Not compared to Ohio. I like the cold weather. It wakes me up. It makes me realize how alive I really am. Laguna Beach here. That's a beautiful. I like that little cove you have there. That's really nice. You like Chevy Chase, Maryland? I know about that place. It's a very expensive area. I saw the ground turn to liquid. Yeah. 117 in Phoenix. I have been through Phoenix when in the summertime as a young guy on a Greyhound bus when I was real young coming out of California, and I was through Phoenix, and it was like beginning of October, and it was hot. I went outside to smoke a cigarette outside of the Greyhound bus station that they have that's near the Motorola around there. I went outside, and it was like 115 degrees. So I was like, oh my God, that's the hottest I've ever felt it. Well, I felt it that hot in Texas once when I was a kid. You lived in Scottsdale, you prefer the earthquakes. Yeah, I know it gets that hot in Phoenix. Phoenix gets hotter than Tucson. Yuma gets hot too. No, but I was a young guy. I was like 19. I was coming across the country on a Greyhound bus, and I took the southern route. There's actually a route you can take on the Greyhound that goes right through Denver and through the mountains. But I took the southern route. We went through Phoenix. I remember there's an airport there downtown, and there's like a Motorola manufacturing facility was there at the time. When you come into town, you come into the Greyhound bus station, and then they make you smoke outside. And then I just wanted to see what outside. They had a smoking area in the back. I don't smoke anymore, but when I was 19, I did. And I walked out there to have a couple cigarettes, and I walked outside and could smoke half a cigarette and had to run back inside of the Greyhound bus station because it was like an oppressive heat like I'd never felt in my life. I don't think it's for everybody. Southern Illinois, you never know. I think there's a different temperature. Southern Illinois is closer to St. Louis. I think it's a little bit warmer there than up in the northern part of the state. Probably up and down. The Arizona at Gene 2287. The Arizona hot is unfucking believable. No, I've never been to Ireland. I'd like to go. Tight pinch. 117 is too hot. My car busted in 116 in Palm Springs once. Oh, I bet it did. October 31st, it drops to 80. You guys are funny. Reminding me of how hot, what the definition of hot really is. I am going to drink something here. We're going to make myself something to drink. Sunkissed pineapple singles to go. $1. Tap water. See? Tap water. I'm frugal. I wonder if I should put this in the freezer. What do you think? let's see, 8:35. I may come back later on tonight. I'm not sure. I'll probably watch some people I know on TikTok or YouTube. I have some of my favorite channels, but that's my secret. I know who I like to watch. If people want to talk to me, they can go to I have a TikTok channel. You could put your telephone number in the DMs in my TikTok channel. I call people. I talk to them. Not everyone. I'm Spanish and I don't understand how much shit. What do you say? Yo hablo español muy bien. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Okay, Scott Amadon. Thank you. At LDog 2354. Holy cow! Please don't take this offensively, but you look familiar. Well, let's see. If I look familiar, let me ask you something. At LDAWG2345. Then, do you know me from Los Angeles or the San Fernando Valley or Hollywood? Do you know me from Cherry Hill, New Jersey? Do you know me from Philadelphia? Do you know me from Bellevue, Washington or Kirkland, Washington? That is correct. I'm about a kindergarten level Spanish. Thank you at Kevin_Chuber. That's fantastic. I feel like I do. California, perhaps. Did you know me from the San Fernando Valley, West Van Nuys, North Hollywood, Chatsworth, Encino, Walter White said hi. Yeah, I lived in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, for 31 years. I lived in Central Hollywood. I lived in South Robertson, the Pico Robertson neighborhood. I lived in Encino. I lived in Chatsworth. I lived in North Hollywood. I lived in Van Nuys. I was on Ventura Boulevard quite often. You might have seen me in 12-step recovery meetings in Radford Hall or Chandler Lodge or Unit A over on Tahunga and Burbank, because I have 19 years sobriety and I used to go to 12-step recovery meetings all the time. You might have known me from those places. At LDog2354. No. I'm not Walter White. Okay, your girlfriend's from Encino, really? Maybe we dated the same girl. I had a girlfriend in Encino on Killian and Lindley. Laurel Plaza. Tight pinch. Unit A AA Hall used to be near the Sears on Laurel Canyon across the street from the Bank of America. They got shut up in 1998. I remember when Unit A was over there, and then it moved over to Tahunga and Burbank, over on the north, over in the, I think that's, I don't know, somewhere near the Burbank, LA city limits. Yes, you did know, mister. You're the one. You live in a car by the beach. You used to be rich, and now you're not. L dog, but funny spelled. Laugh out loud. You probably saw me around. You look like a courthouse judge. Yeah, everybody in Los Angeles is either using dangerous controlled substances or they are in AA and NA. The entire place, Los Angeles is a port city. It's the busiest port city in the United States. So it's going to have every drug in the world there. I got sober there. Gomez, greetings from Los Angeles. I'm a former Los Angeles resident. Lived there from 1989 until 2023. In Hollywood and the San Fernando Valley, and even down to San Pedro for a little while. Order in the court. Brown hair, 5'7", muscular, nice, reserved, funny, intellectual. Redondo Beach, I know where that is. That's where they have that really, where the pier is, where the Redondo Pier is. They have a really good Italian restaurant at the end of the pier. Oh my God. I'm going to have to do something with this hair. It's too dark. It's way too dark. I got to figure out when I can do something about it. Thank you for coming and spending time with me. Please subscribe to @Hollywoodland21. I need that more than anything else in the world. Everybody here that's watching, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate you subscribing to my channel. I don't get paid by YouTube for anything. I'm just building my subscriber base. I have over 2,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time, and I will monetize this channel once I get to 5,000 subscribers. My goal by September the 1st is to have 10,000 subscribers. My goal by the beginning of next year is to have 100,000 subscribers. This is going to be a big channel, one way or the other. I'm sticking with YouTube. I've made my decision. Ridiculous_Dan. I grew up in Chatsworth during the 90s. A lot of times we had to ditch school and head down to Venice Beach and hang out. Now I'm up in Oregon for the last 20 years. I've been up to Oregon. I've been to Portland. It used to be really nice there. You guys have a wonderful evening. It's time for me to go do other things. Thank you for subscribing to @Hollywoodland21. I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. @Hollywood21, @Hollywoodland21. That's @Hollywoodland21, one word. Subscriptions are free, and I live stream on YouTube @Hollywoodland21 Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 6 p.m. until whenever. And it's really your channel, and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. Thank you. Have a very good night, and I want everyone to have a wonderful rest of your evening. And remember that Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you very much. I know that I know that I asked Jesus to take away the cravings to use drugs and alcohol, and he did right away, just like that. And now I'm coming up on 19 years of sobriety. You guys have a wonderful evening.